Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Drew. This is Just a Guy Linux, and this is the second video on Nextcloud that I promised a month ago. Now, what do we hope to gain here? I'm going to make this as usable for me as possible, and hopefully along the way you'll find something that appeals to you as well. Now, the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the admin settings, okay? Now, there is apparently an update. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly, okay? I'm going to go to this and say start update. Now, if I have to, I will pause, but I don't think this is going to take very long. Of course, then when I say that, something weird happens, okay? But I did want to make sure that you could see that's where you would go to update your Nextcloud instance, and that is what is happening right here. So actually, since you already know where that is going, where to find that rather, I'm going to pause. Oh, actually, I think it's, there we go. Start upgrade. So I take that back. It's going to do this really quickly, and I'm going to be able to get along on my way with the video. Okay, cool. So it's done the update. And now it's going to go back to the dashboard, and I'm going to go back to admin settings again. Okay, so it's done its update. It says update is not yet finished. Please refresh the page. All right, let's try that. Okay, so I am going to go into basic settings because we did talk about this slightly in the last video. We talked about this email server, and in the example that I used in the last video, I was using a Gmail and using the SMTP for Gmail. And at the time I said use an app-specific password to do that. Now that is still something that you should consider. I happen to be using Proton Mail. And if you wish to use Proton Mail, I will leave a link in the description below, because if you end up signing up, I get a little something off of my my bill at the end of the month. So cool. Anyway, so this is authenticating and being able to send out SMTP mail from your Nextcloud instance. Now, what is that for? Well, I'll give you one example right off the bat. I'm going to go over here and go to accounts. Let's say that you want to add somebody to your Nextcloud. Just say new account, all right? And let's just say spouse. And instead, so either password or email is required. So let's just say you don't want to create a password for somebody. All you have to do is send them spouse at justaguylinux.cloud or com, whatever you want to do, and then add the new account, and it will send them an email that says if you want to verify your new account at this particular Nextcloud instance, it will give you them the directions and the ability to set their own password. And that might be something that you need going along the lines of, well, down the road rather. One thing that people often say is, I just don't like the UI. The UI experience is a little, I don't know, not to my liking. In fact, Matt from the Linux Cast has said that as much. Now, there are things here. Now, you can see, I don't necessarily like this horizontal navigation, and we're going to work on the UI right now, as a matter of fact. So, I'm going to go over to apps, okay? And let's go under featured apps for now, because there are a few things. So the dashboard, files, photos, activity, and so on. Now, will I use mail within the Nextcloud UI? No, I definitely won't. But if you want to, you're welcome to try it. I'm just going to click on disable, because I'm not going to use it, okay? And it's now gone, okay? Now, photos, yes and no, I think, but a lot of people will say yes, so I am going to leave them in, okay? But what I want to show you is under the customization, right here, I'm just going to click on customization, and there are a bunch of things. This will customize your UI experience. Now, there are three things that I want to talk about, okay? The very first thing is theming, okay? Now, the Breeze Dark theme is something that you may like, especially if you're a KDE user. I would choose one or the other, okay? One, Breeze Dark, or the other, which is custom CSS. My personal my personal opinion is I would like to be able to control the UI with custom CSS. So I am going to click on download and enable. And let's go into that real quick. All right, so let's go to a new tab, and let's say Dracula Dark theme. It's right here, as a matter of fact. And I'll put a link in the description below. Custom CSS is the application which is already installed. I'm going to go to open, actually, you know what? Let's go and just open this and say, open the theming settings into admin settings. So I'm going to go over to admin settings and under theming, okay? And actually, let's talk about this for a second, okay? So the name is called Nextcloud. The web link is nextcloud.com. But, you know, for me, it's just a guy Linux, and it is my dot just a guy Linux. Oh my, Linux dot cloud, and just welcome. Doesn't matter. Okay, and then I'm going to go. Let's go back over here. Set the primary to this primary color, copy, and primary. All right, and let's choose. And actually, it's very poorly, so be careful here because it doesn't look like you should be able to change it, but you can. So I'm just going to go ahead and select that and hit choose, okay? And the background color, we're going to select this, copy that, and let's go over and choose. Actually, I just go like that. There we go. And let's paste that in. And that's good. Oop, cancel. Sorry. And now let's go ahead and finish what we were doing. We want this CSS and put it in the custom CSS theme. So I am just going to go ahead and copy this. And let's go over to the custom CSS and let's now save. Okay. And you may have to authenticate. This is for your user account. And there you go. So what happens if I hit refresh now? Oh, look at that. Look at the colors have changed. Now, notice that this top color is the same. Okay. This is actually using an image. So the background and login image, I'm just going to say, all right, let's just delete it for now. Okay, so I'm going to delete it. And there is, it's all very uniform at this point. And then I'll just go ahead and hit save. All right, now it looks, to me, my opinion, looks a lot better already. All right, but let's go back over to apps. And go back under customization. Now we've enabled this custom CSS. Now what I want to do next is put in this custom menu. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. Now, out of the box, it's already working. Now what you don't see is, if I hit refresh now, let's go ahead and do that. Notice the navigation is now gone from the top bar, okay? It's gone, but it's not really gone because if I click on this, there it is. I can go to any of the things that was once there, and maybe this is a little bit more palatable to me, okay? I don't know about you guys, but just so you know, this is what that application or that app does. All right, it automatically removes that horizontal and changes it to a vertical navigation, and it has a nice search bar there too. So even to me, even better. All right. Now, there's one more thing that I want to talk about, and it's this. A lot of people don't like the rounded corners. Okay. So in order to get rid of that, you just have to click on download and enable unrounded corners. Okay. And there it is. It's going, well, as soon as I hit refresh, rather. And if you go to, let's say, Files, it has changed a lot of the UI, including the colors for the folders in your file directory, okay, or in your file application, I should say. So that was one way to make this look better. Now, you can always change the colors. Let's go back over to admin settings and go into theming. If you want, and you simply, and this is one way to do this. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a hint here, okay? Let's say you want to copy this. Here's what I think, this is totally on the fly, guys. So hopefully this works well, all right? I'm going to put this in ChatGPT, and I'm going to go and just paste that. And I'm going to go down and say, change this color scheme to Capuchin. Okay, let's see if that worked. I'm just curious if that will work, guys. All right. All right. Oh, and I'm going to change the primary color and the background color. Let's do it. Let's see. Okay. So copy that, and I'm going to go paste it in here. Control V. And let's go to, what did it say? Primary color is this lavender. Let's go ahead and copy that. And I'm just going to go ahead and paste that. Ooh, look at that. And let's go over here to background. Copy that. And let's say triple dots. And let's go ahead and place that in. Ooh, I don't like that. Oh, no, okay, that's good. That's good. And let's go ahead and now let's save this. And let's go back and over here to the files and look what it looks like now. Okay. I don't know. What do you guys think? So that's one way to modify your color scheme. Okay, slight error. I didn't do this right. Actually, I mean, I did it right, but I didn't actually copy and paste correctly, and that's kind of lame. But when I went to admin settings and then theming, I just think I pasted it in correctly. So just in case you are taking notes, make sure that you actually say Control A or select all and then paste in whatever you're going to paste in before you hit save. That's what I did wrong. Actually, it had two custom CSS and they were fighting over the same thing. So now when I go and I say, okay, let's go to files, it did change not only the background, but the color of the folders as well. So I made a little bit of mistake, but I'm glad I did, because that way you can avoid the same mistake maybe I did. Now, while I am thinking about it, let me go ahead and add a couple applications that I think are pretty darn cool, and for me, a must-have. So I'm going to go back to apps, and under, let's say, organization, there we go. I'm going to go to bookmarks, and I'm going to enable bookmarks, okay? Also, let me go into files, and I'm going to go to, where is it, configurable, share links right here, and say enable, okay? Now, I am going to go back over here. Actually, I have to refresh first. And then now bookmark shows up, okay? So I like having bookmarks shared with Nextcloud. And one of the reasons why is so that I can share them with somebody else. And I've talked about this on the podcast. And in the podcast, I actually used a Firefox extension called Flockus. And actually, I did a video on this as well. So I will leave a link in the video for that video as well. And what this does is it synchronizes my bookmarks with Firefox with my Nextcloud instance, which I think is very good because let's just say you want to share your bookmarks with somebody else, you can do that. And I like having that functionality, okay? So that is one thing that I definitely want to use, and you may as well. All right, switching subjects, let's go to configurable share links. So I'm going to go to the Files application, and let's say I want to share something, and this is very specific because this would be a public share, okay? Now you can do any kind of public share that you want or share with just individual people, all right? But in this case, what I'm going to show you is using a token to share. And you'll get the idea in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this README, all right? And I'm going to create a token, and we're just going to call it README, all right? And let's go ahead and hit OK. So now it's right there. You'll see that README, all right? Let's we'll customize link. Actually, we don't even need to do that, do we? We can just say view only and update the share, okay? And now when I copy this public link, all right, and I go and I paste it over here, you're going to see that it just says the URL index and then this /s, but then README will be part of that. So you don't actually, this token allows you to have a kind of a readable URL. Now, I don't know if that's something that everybody needs, but it is something that I like having in order to share a specific document with a public viewer. It makes things look a little bit better. I guess maybe that's just the way to describe it, okay? Now let's talk about synchronization, probably the last thing we talk about. There's so much to talk about. We'll definitely do another video, but let's get you started with some synchronizing with your PC. So Nextcloud Desktop, okay? Now, is this a great application? No. Me and Matt already talked about this in the podcast that we did exclusively on Nextcloud. So we're going to go over here, and I am going to use the Linux app image, and let's download it, okay? Now, don't forget, you're going to come over here, and you're going to use properties, permissions, and we're going to allow this to run as a program. I'm using Thunar, by the way, all right? And I'm going to double-click. Now, it's going to show up, okay? It's going to show up right here, all right? Now, again, I don't like using this, all right? But we're going to go login, okay? And it's going to be your instance of Nextcloud. So HTTPS, and then my.linux, oh, just a guy linux.cloud, okay? And next. Okay. So it's going, since we are already logged in, it's just going to say login, and I'm going to grant access, okay? You can close this window. So let's do that. All right. Now, you can choose what you want to sync. Now, by default, it's in your home user Nextcloud directory. You can choose something else, okay? And I want to sync, I don't want to sync templates or talk. I might want to sync everything else, which includes documents, notes, and photos. So I'm just going to go okay. All right. And let's go ahead and connect. And there you go. Everything got synced. All right. And let's go ahead and we're just going to close that. I think that just went ahead and just closed itself. Okay, good. And now when I go over to my file manager, it's going to go into Nextcloud, and there are my notes. Okay. So there's a bunch of notes over here, and which I like, because if I let's say I go over here to Nextcloud and I say, what is this list of notes? All right. Oops. Right here. Okay. So let's say this week. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's from last week. So maybe I want to change this week. So I go over to Genie and I say, I don't know. This, oh wow, it's kind of, all right. This was last week. All right, and just, that's fine. I mean, this doesn't matter. So save. And what it did was automatically it should have synchronized it. And there it goes, right there. You can see. Let me go ahead and close this so you can see what it really looks like. It says, use the save version or use the current version. All right, well, this was the save version. This is the current version. Let's just say use the saved version. All right, and now it has changed. All right, you can see that there was two different things, and now it's showing the most up-to-date version. All right, and let's go ahead and click on that. And let's go back. So that was it. That's going to be it for today. So what this application has allowed you to do is synchronize everything so that you don't actually have to live in, let me go ahead and close this. You don't actually have to live in Nextcloud, but we spent definitely some time in order to make it look better so that you can feel free to just use the UI. It's a pretty UI if you know what you're doing. But at the same time, if you don't want to, you can simply just, create your own way to synchronize files with Nextcloud, and that is perfectly okay. You may want to put this this app image in your start, and that way it's always on when you reboot your machine. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.